you have, you could use it to help you farm and maybe look for some extra bombs.
So when I get a bee in a bottle early, the place I want to use it is Mini Moldorm Cave.
Oh, really? Okay. Makes it nice and quick. Uncle is walking out here without a sword, so we know this is not a sword seed. And there's the blue cane with no magic to use it.
Excuse me?
So
you're in the wrong place.
Uncle will not be giving us the blue cane, but if he does give us, fire rod or red cane, we'll still get full magic.
Yep, so that you could put that, cane of Brian there to good use, but that seems like a lower priority weapon to be using.
That's funny. I think Uncle just forgot to take his cane with him. Oh, and fire rod.
All right, so now we're in business.
So fire rod will pretty much insta-kill any of these enemies. You see, Mikan, I hope I said that right.
Yep.
Using it right away to kill the green guards, hoping for some of those bomb drops, because ideally, we didn't start with bombs. What you're looking for is some bombs. Right. At least one.
And of course, that, you can afford to use the fire rod early on there to kill a few enemies, because you're going to have some pots that have a little bit of magic underneath them right over by the second chest.
Right. And there are a couple of small magic pots in the sewer as well. So if you can get that far, and of course you can always do a save and quit or take a death in order to refill your magic, and you'll hit certain checkpoints. Like, for example, Link's house right now. But once you save, once you reach Zelda's cell, that becomes a checkpoint as well. So you can restart and have a little bit of magic. Not a full refill, but some.
Yeah. Right now, the place you would respawn is actually the front of Hyrule Castle, like the entrance. And I think from there you actually would get full magic, but
right, I think
you don't want to.
It's a long walk to Zelda's cell from there. Thankfully, you only have to kill these two guards here, where both of our runners are. You also, of course, have to kill the ball and chain guard, but you could use pots instead of using magic.
Now, personally, when I have the fire rod, I like to go ahead and use that anyway, because it's a one-shot on the ball and chain guard as well.
Definitely.
But if I'm not comfortable with my magic level, then I might go ahead and be conservative.
So we don't know much about the seed yet, aside from the starting items. Fire Rod's not too bad. It gives you access, of course, in the Skull Woods to beating it. Potentially access into ice.
Shovel.
And it might be needed for Turtle Rock eventually as well. We don't know which of these are pendant dungeons, so we'll have to wait and see. But still no bomb drops. The prize packs for the different enemies, they're all randomized, so there's no guarantee you're actually going to get a bomb when you kill a certain enemy. Maybe the green guards don't even drop bombs, but luckily there's a number of different enemies they can check on the way. There are the blue guards here, but we'll also see some snakes and rats in the sewer section, and maybe they'll drop bombs for us.
And I think the green guards and the green guards with a sword could potentially be in different prize packs.
Maybe. I don't know for certain. I do know they basically randomized the whole entire different prize pack. So it used to be enemies would be grouped together into one prize pack, and that's just been completely overhauled. We have a 4-pack drop from a green guard, though, for Desert Eagle.
That's pretty fortunate for him, and Mikan is not gonna encounter any more green guards along the way, so you're gonna have to hope if you're a fan of Mikan that he finds another one somewhere along the way, another bomb drop somewhere.
He does have plenty of farming opportunities. It looks like he will collect some small magic here just to give him a few extra shots. Ooh, and using the blue cane to save on some of that magic.
Yeah, so when we enter the next room, the snakes will be all bunched up, and it will potentially be a nice way of farming them when you've got Brian.
Oh, there we go. 4-pack for Mikan as well.
And there we go. We've got all we could possibly need now for escape. There's a single small key in the place you expect it to be. I mean, we knew it was going to be there because it has to show up at some point.
Is this even randomized? Blue Cane and Fire Rod early. Is this even randomized?
Exactly.
So 4-pack bombs are very nice to have. It basically gets you all the way through Kakariko Village if that's the first place you end up going. You need 3 bombs there, and you have one right here where both of our runners are. Ideally.
Yeah, though you may need a 4th if there's something in the race game.
True. But by then you can buy bombs.
Well, we got hearts for days and a little bit of money. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen the burrito.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think the burrito is sitting in the sanctuary chest. Maybe a snack for the priest later on. See if anyone steals it. All right, about 6 minutes. Pretty standard for an escape run. So this is where things will start to get interesting, maybe. If our runners decide to go a different path. Maybe they'll check Lumberjack for us. Maybe
no, I'm making that up.
Did we? Where was the burrito?
I don't ever see it when it happens.
It's true.
It goes completely out of my mind. I'm like, oh, that wasn't a thing.
Well, thankfully, we're not running the seed. Otherwise, we both would have skipped the red rupee from the chest there. All right, looks like Mikan is going right into Lost Woods. Desert Eagle will check Lumberjack for us. And also check out the tree while he's on the way. Some magic.
Yeah, so this is a little gamble you can take early on. Some people like the information, and some people like to let it go until it's time to, until it's a little closer to being likely.
Yeah, maybe after you get boots, because you really can't get this Lumberjack item until you have boots. It looks like it's just a red rupee, though. So maybe Aghanim gets to live today.
Well, until he splits himself into 3 pieces.
Sure. All right, so nothing much so far in this section of the game, but we are about to head into Kakariko Village. A ton of chests, so we'll see if there's any progression in here for us.
Let it be known that a ton, in fact, means 13.
I mean, more than 10 sounds like a ton, right?
I mean, yes. I'm just saying. That's now the official Zelda measurement.
A lot of rupees, though. That's really nice to find early on. Ooh, and a hammer. Speaking of nice.
So, hammer time indeed, and that is going to give us... Whoa, lamp as well. That is going to give us a pretty solid access at this point. Some pretty interesting places.
I mean...
Maybe not exactly immediately, but things will come.
I'm getting some mixed messages here. You get hammer, and you're feeling... Aghanim, probably not required. You get Lantern, and you're feeling Aghanim might be required. So we'll have to wait and see what our Dark World access is.
Sword just makes that Aga play a little more likely.
It's true.
Here's
our bottle.
With a B.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness!
Well, we can now officially retire.
That is officially number wing, ladies and gentlemen.
Why they don't even walk slower with all these rupees in their pocket, I don't know.
But yeah, with that bottle, they'll be able to check the Sick Kids item, adding 1 more to the ton of items in Kakariko.
Ooh,
a little bit of bombs, which is pretty good. That you just ran out of bombs.
Yeah, just in time.
So we found, what, 3 of the 5 300s right now?
Oh my gosh, yeah. You really don't need much more than 900 rupees, unless you're going to be getting a lot of potions later on, which is good for safety. Still no official progression, though. Hammer's nice, but they can't do anything with Hammer just yet. Lantern, okay, I guess Lantern is technically a progression item because it gets us to one chest in Eastern that you can't normally get to.
Yep, there you go. Progression for days. What are you going to do about it?
But yeah, no dark rooms to seed at all. Let's see if Race Game has anything else good for us. Maybe more rupees. Or piece of heart.
Nope, just a piece of heart. Not really worth it.
Real quick, Desert Eagle's going to have a quick talk with Cross Product in the tavern here for our pun of the day. If you haven't found Quake yet, it's not your
fault. My goodness. Okay, that got me real good.
So Mikan's heading down to the South Shore area. We have 2 items here in the dam. We have 5 more in the mini Moldrum Cave. And if he decides to continue on over to Ice Rod Cave, 1 more thing. Neat. Oh, Desert Eagle might be checking out our shovel for us.
Yeah, that's something you kind of, I kind of like to route that in right after Race Game if I think about it.
I mean, you're probably the closest here pre-boots than you're ever going to get. Oh, quick map check. I think I saw pendant up at Hera.
Oh, we have a winner.
Counter. Fetch quest to fetch quest.
And, we could actually turn that in right now.
Yeah, with Hammer. Pendant at Eastern as well, and a crystal over at Desert.
What was Hera, did you see?
Pendant. So both of our non-green pendants are in the light world.
Interesting.
Oh, a flute. Nice. That's our Death Mountain access.
Yeah, sure is.
And the single arrow. Well, we're done. There it is. Mikan gonna go activate the flute right away. He could always opt to flute on over towards Ice Rock Cave if he wanted to check it, or maybe head up to Death Mountain.
Very possible. So yeah, we do now have Desert Eagle with those with that powder, which is the best item in the game. I don't care what you think. And so that'll be, if nothing else, that will be very helpful, like to actually survive.
It's true. A nice sub-15 flute for us. It's so nice to get around with it.
Mm-hmm. Everybody say hello to Senior Swag Duck.
His official title. Oh, Ice Rock Cave. Desert Eagle clearing up. Mini Moldrum Cave about to get his flute. See if he activates it right away. Passing up on some bombs, though. Only 2 bombs. A little risky. Depending on, where he ends up going, it might be hard to farm for bombs.
All right, so Ice Rod Cave. Mikan is playing the song of his people.
Just a small shield, though. Ooh, a desert check.
And we're getting all these sort of out of the way, initially open locations taken care of, just in case.
I mean, I'm looking forward to see what Magic Bat has in store for us. If it's mushroom, I will love it.
If Magic Bat is mushroom, then someone has been plotting. Someone replaced this with a Plando. That's not actually true, but
Certainly will feel like it. Oh, good. Mikan activating the flute for us while Desert Eagle gets the duck. Perfect timing. Oh, I think Desert Eagle's gonna check the magic bat for us.
It's Batman time.
And Mikan is heading over towards Eastern. Now, there's 3 items behind Saashla over here, and there's 2 to 3 items in Eastern, depending on if Armos actually has it.
I think he changed his mind.
Okay, never mind. Just forget everything I said. Death Mountain, there's 3 items. Wait, 2 items Mikan can currently reach. Magic Bat, what do you got?
Oh, shot!
That's good.
Oh man,
What a find! That is our Death Mountain access right there. That actually can get our runners all the way to Hera with that hammer.
Yeah, indeed, that is huge. So Mikan forgetting the shovel early on is kind of really biting him right now.
Well, he still has time. It's still early game. I mean, he's not going to be able to get so much. If our hookshot is our real progression, maybe that leads to Moon Pearl and Glove. I think Mikan's going to very quickly, hit a wall, and then he'll have to check out that shovel spot.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not going to be, like, devastating.
Right. Bombo's sitting on top of Spectacle Rock there. Need mirror for it. I think that was rupees.
Yeah, it looked like 50.
Who needs them? Well, they should get it. They'd be over 1,000. Oh, well.
Alright, so Mikan is going to go to the eastern play, while Desert Eagle is going to get right over to the east side of Death Mountain. And with that hammer, he knows he could check out the top later.
Yeah.
If he has to.
All right, we have to keep an eye on both runners now because they're both about to get a whole bunch of items. Not a ton, just a few.
Well, I mean, you add up Desert Eagles and Mikan's total, you might be around a ton.
It's true. Just rupees behind Saashla. Robbing the poor guy.
That was his retirement fund.
Another two B bottles.
More bees!
At least the first bee is a magic bee, and you can sell it for 100 rupees if you really want rupees.
What's this? A randomizer seed woefully underpopulated by bees?
Oh, there's a glove! Our Dark World access almost complete, and the red cane.
Wow. So we got glove, we got cane. Oh boy.
So Desert Eagle up here, he can head on over to Hera. There's 2 items there. Since he has a Fire Rod and Lantern, he should be able to full clear it if he wished. And then we also have Spiral Cave. That's all we know right now.
Hashtag Vanilla Moon Pearl.
But that glove does unlock Zora for us. Within logic, Zora is possible. Okay, Desert Eagle has to play it safe. If he gets hit, he's going right to Spiral Cave, not even taking a chance getting over there. I mean, 1 hit. Overworld death, not fun.
True facts. Especially since you're probably planning on going over to Hera, and this is a long trip.
So, chat, if you ever need some hearts, you're playing this game, you have hookshot. If you hookshot a heart, you have a chance
Pearl
to get a double heart.
In there.
Takes a death, but I don't even think it matters much.
Yeah,
because he has his Dark World access.
We'll see if he goes to error or not.
Bugnet? Well, I think that's an Aga play.
I'm gonna have to disappoint you there.
Okay. All right, so Desert Eagle will be making his play into Village of Outcast area. Now, he has Fire Rod and a sword, so he could opt to go into Skull Woods first. Mikan has one more item to get over here. It might be an item. We don't know yet.
Do you want to fight Mothula on 6 hearts and green mail?
I mean, it might be what's required of the runners at this point. So what does Mikan have left? I think all he has left is Shovel. Within logic.
Yep, I think he just noticed it in his inventory.
All right, green pendant sitting at Turtle Rock, and our fat fairy crystals, Swamp and Thieves. Turtle Rock. Ice Rod might not even be required. I mean, of course it's going to be required because this is Randomizer.
All right, Mikan, you see the little Y next to your flute?
Oh no! See, that's it sort of hides from you, so unless you notice it,
He's got it.
Yeah, there he goes. But he still has to make his way all the way up to Death Mountain. Now, we haven't seen Hera, so Mikan might check it for us.
Yeah, that could be a huge deal. We saw purple guards there for a second. That was cool.
Now, I have to say, Thieves being a crystal, I think is a relief. It stinks going into there when it's a pendant dungeon, because you don't know, is this required? It's so easy to get the items in there, but also time-consuming if it's a pendant.
Yeah. So I'm more likely to go into Thieves if it's a pendant if I don't have the hammer.
Okay, so check it, get it out of the way.
Yeah, because then I'm just like, okay, if this isn't if I don't have to come back here, that's fine. But if I do have the hammer,
whoa!
Oh, we got Mirror over in Sea House.
That's actually a really nice find for Desert Eagle. Since he didn't go to Hera, he can use the mirror to get up there instead. All right, Mikan about to get his hook shot, and then I assume he'll make his way right up to Death Mountain.
Though we may, of course, decide not to go up to Hera at all.
I mean, it's a pendant. Who even knows? So let's talk what our runners need right now. They still need flippers, they need mitts, they need bow. We know that for certain. We don't know which medallion they need, but they'll need at least one of them. And we don't know about boots either.
Yeah, the boots could be required. But yeah, I think other than those things, the flippers and the bow.
Oh, dead rocked.
Like you said, that's about it. And the medallion.
So there's 4 total items here in Thieves for Desert Eagle. I wasn't keeping track of how many he picked up, and that is an interesting sprite that he got. It's like a shadow.
And the sprite is, it's kind of looks like a charred version. Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
And there's the glove for Mikan.
All right, so next order of business, Mikan will be heading over. I'm imagine Hera is probably the first thing on his mind, and then he'll come back to Spiral Cave. You do not want to skip Spiral Cave in this particular instance, that's for sure.
All right, we're going to see an Hera play. Also, these crickets, no joke, deal 2 hearts of damage when you only have green tunic. It's a little ridiculous because they're so tiny.
It's kind of a nightmare.
Alright, there's 2 items here at Hera. One of which was just a red rupee.
Desert Eagle picks up a nice little ferry in the Hellway there, off of the anti-ferry.
I mean, powder showing its use.
That's why it's the best item in the game. Also gets rid of those dead rocks.
I mean, that alone, I think, qualifies it. Because dead rocks are the worst.
You are correct.
Oh, careful there. I think most of these enemies actually deal 2 hearts of damage.
Alright, I think that might be all the items.
Oh, no. Well, oh, if that's all the items... Wait, no, he doesn't start with the maiden.
He does not. We have to go all the way back down.
I mean, if you're feeling low on hearts, it's actually best to just kill the enemies as you go through. Throwing of the pot, just, hit them with the skull pot, insta-kills them, makes for a nice, safer walk. He just sort of got, it was just swarmed.
And Mikan did end up picking up a little bit of money as the second item in Tower of Hera. So nothing there, and we'll be heading over to Spiral Cave.
Thankfully, I was going to say Desert Eagle doesn't have to open up the floor again.
Right. All you gotta do is go downstairs and pick up the maiden. They do have to flip the switch, but that's it. Now, one thing I'd be a little suspicious of. So Mikan's about to pick up the Moon Pearl.
Right.
Right there, it actually also unlocks Spike Cave up here.
True. Because they have Blue Cane.
And Blue Cane was in Link's house. So I'm sitting here like, did they really want me to go here that badly?
Now you can see Desert Eagle killing the, whatever those enemies are called. And we get some blue potions from Mikan. Nice safety.
I believe the official name is Zazak.
Oh, jeez. I'm never going to remember that.
Yeah. A lot of people just call them, like, horse heads or lizard dudes or RNG-flavored nightmare. I didn't say that. I don't know anyone who's actually said that one.
Alright, 8-heart blind fight. Let's go.
We do have Emergency Brian on standby. Pretty solid opening.
Actually curious if
Ooh,
Mikan's going to go into
bodied.
Skull Woods for us.
Yeah, maybe. Mikan giving us a map check as well. Taking care of that. Using the Emergency Brian strats to take out blind.
That's what it's there for.
But there was one more item. I don't know how to count.
And that actually means the small key is in the big chest.
It sure does.
Alright, there's 2 items here in Skull Woods. And I think Desert Eagle might also be heading up to Skull Woods now as well.
He's going to be a little better equipped. Now, Mikan, unfortunately, is going to have to go the long way through the pinball room to get out of here. Or save and quit. Who wants to do that?
It's not too bad when you have Flute, but without the mitts, it's still time-consuming.
Yeah, I have this weird thing where I like to go in the front door and grab the chest on the right first, in case it's a small key, and then I can just go in the left door.
I mean, the nice thing about that is if you have mirror, because you can just mirror back. Speaking of which, it was a small key this time. Desert Eagle, I think, is heading straight to the back.
Interesting play. Not even checking the big key chest.
It looks like so far it's going to turn in his favor.
It turns out it's going to be pretty solid. I mean, he knows he needs to go back there anyway, so why not?
Right. Oh, he was checking his potion situation, so he doesn't have any safety potions right now.
Mikan, on the other hand, did pick up a few safety potions. Or at least one. Because of that, surplus of cash. Well, there's one of the items. It's a piece of heart. And Desert Eagle is just getting out because of the safety potion situation.
Well, he left his portal there, so if he flutes back to Lost Woods, it's a short walk, but at least he's in the back half of Skull Woods.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Mirror was in Thieves.
It's in Sea House.
Oh, Sea House. Village of Outcasts. I knew that.
I mean, right close to it. They're basically the same place.
I suspect Mikan will be heading there after this.
In fact, for the purposes of the logic, they are all some of the places in Thieves Town are treated exactly the same as Sea House.
Yeah, it's been the same sphere of logic. Only one B for Mothula, of course. I mean, Fighter Sword, it's not pleasant, but a Magic Bee would be useful. Mothula can get a couple of hits there. Mikan trying to kill the Gibdo against the spike. 2 spike hits. Oh, no, didn't have to because he had a key. Never mind.
Ooh, we're using hammer strats here for Mikan. It's gonna be pretty solid.
I mean, hammer does tempered slash damage.
Yeah, and we all know that Mothula dies in 4 hits to the tempered sword. Now, unfortunately, you're gonna have to get right up in his face if you want to hit him.
Yeah, the hitbox is horrible.
That looked like a solid hit, though.
There goes the safety potion.
Now we'll employ some fire rod, take down Mothula in one go, and the flippers.
Okay,
Hot dang and a half.
that's our swamp access.
Yeah. Well, neither runner actually has that swamp access right now.
No. Desert Eagle might be
enough.
the first.
Yeah, assuming he can take down Mothula as well. This is not going to work the way you want it to, Desert Eagle.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That is an unpleasant grab right there.
Desert was unfortunately trying to stun the Gibdo with the hook shot, which does not work. Boomerang works. We don't have one of those.
Oh, we're seeing some lantern shots here. Bumper Cave has nothing of importance.
Yep, we will not be seeing a graveyard ledge check just yet, but as soon as the Sea house is checked. Mikan might turn around. I doubt that, but you never know.
I mean, honestly, I think Desert Eagle's better off using the potion now. Oh! The powder! Mikan gets his mirror.
Alright, he uses the potion. Finally, he's gonna destroy this Gibdo with a fire rod shot. That'll give him the key he needs to get to Mothula. And then Mothula will go ahead and die to the... and deliver the flipper.
Now, Mothula takes 8 fire rod shots, but if you hit him into the spikes, it doesn't count.
Yep, we're getting some nice little spin strats here. Desert Eagle is employing what I affectionately call the intentional lag generation strats.
Oh no. Ooh. Those onion ring things deal too hard of damage.
That's going to be unfortunate because that is where some of Desert Eagle's progression lies. It's right there on Mothula.
I mean, let's be honest, Fighter Sword Mothula is not pleasant.
That is true. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm still thinking that, like, Titan's Mitts in Spike Cave is going to be a thing.
You think it's something. I mean, it's, like you mentioned, it's been unlocked really early with that blue cane.
So is Desert Eagle going to return to Moth, or are we going to go elsewhere?
And the recommendation I have for any runner, if this happens to you, if you have other things to check, take a breather, go somewhere else for a moment, like maybe head on down to Hype Cave. Just calm yourself, because when you take a couple of deaths like that, you just want to relax, cool down. You don't want to be on tilt.
Yeah, I'm like, you want to recognize when tilt is happening and get out of the table.
Yep. And he's gonna have to use a potion in the beginning unless he can lantern strat. But it's just honestly, the hard thing is with those Gibdos. They deal a lot of damage, and you can't really effectively deal with them with just the fighter sword. I mean, you can, it just takes a while. All right, Mikan heading on down to go to Maiden Blind, I guess. Don't know what we call her.
Ooh, full magic drop.
Go get it. That's a lucky drop.
Very nice.
Honestly, just kill all the Gibdos.
Burn them all. Trog Desert, the Burninator.
And here we go, another fighter sword blind. No blue cane on tap, though.
We're getting some hookshot rhythms instead.
That is a good use of the hook shot.
All right. So the first two phases were textbook, and the third one, you had enough health to tank through it.
That's blind in a nutshell. Now, you don't want to spam Fire Rod too fast, since Mafia might have some invulnerability frames.
Yeah, so I was talking a minute ago about these intentional lag strats. You can slow down the fight a bit, give yourself a little bit of time to react, and also charge up a spin.
Yeah, the spin is hard, though, with the moving conveyor belt.
And Desert Eagle has in fact exhausted the entirety of their magic supply.
Oh! He did the whole speed up where he bounced off of a wall. Let's see what Mikan digs up.
This is a well-programmed game.
How did we even beat this as a kid? That's what I want to know. That's a sword.
Master Sword, nice.
So again, this is where I say, Desert Eagle, you're on tilt. Go somewhere else. Maybe go pick up a nice Master Sword. Apparently he's sitting at the digging game.
If you see the Speed Racing TV chat, he has entered a random string of characters.
Ooh,
and blue mail. This is the "Don't you wish you had this before you fought Mothula" aisle.
I mean, if anything, it will help all of these enemies that are dealing like 2 hearts of damage.
Oof! Desert Eagle taking a death in the statue pushing room. I was gonna say you have the cane.
Yeah, but he has no magic.
Yeah, he has no magic. However, there's magic under the pots in that room. You do have to kill the jellies first, though, and take their drops so it won't spawn.
Oh my gosh! Look at this! Another sword over at Hype Cave. That's at least medium height. Quake.
And Quake, and another 3 hundo. Goodness. And the 10 bomb drop, which is important, clearly.
I mean, it's the only one in the game, so yeah.
And it looks like Mikan is going to be making the play on Swamp. We'll see if Swamp lives up to its reputation today, or if it turns out to actually have value.
I can feel the tilt over here. I can just feel it. I'm like 45 degrees to the right at this point.
Would you say that if you were a Magic the Gathering card, you would be tapped?
Sure. Alright, there are 6 items here in Swamp that our runners can get. Of course, it could be time-consuming if they're sitting over on the left-hand side.
Very true. And there's the burrito, so something's over there.
Oh, no ideal swamp where we have both compass and map sitting on the left-hand side.
I refer to that as the Mexican combo platter. With the burrito and the plate of nachos.
A plate of nachos, sure.
So Desert Eagle's going to pick up the Bombos medallion, it looks like. And we might be seeing a Spike Cave check if he can get his hands on some magic.
Well, he could beat Moldorm and get the magic refill that way.
Yeah, there is that. I agree with Obsidian on this one. The ideal swamp is a pendant swamp with no required items in it.
See, the problem is you have to know it's not required, and you never do. There's so many items here. It's an item-dense location, and that just makes it more painful. I would say that's the... I think Crystal Swamp, where you can just check everything in one go, is ideal, because you're going to get it done anyway, and you can quickly get all the items.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing with Swamp is it's got so many items, but it's also kind of offset by the new key generation algorithm, and two, the fact that it has unique requirements that aren't, nothing else in the game actually requires the hook shot or the mirror.
Right. Well,
no other dungeons.
Could be hookshot logic for ice.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's probably our most required dungeon outside of, like, Turtle Rock. But we are getting a left-hand side check here. We know there's at least one item sitting.
Both. We saw the compass as well.
Oh, did we? Okay,
Yeah.
I missed that one.
The map and compass were completely vanilla.
Well, where's the fun in that?
I think it's plenty fun. It trolls the snot out of you.
I mean, the hard part is finding that big key, especially since we found the map and compass. We know there's at least an item in the big chest. And ideally, you don't want to have to backtrack through here.
And left side swamp, as usual, is Garbo.
And you still had to do it anyway.
So my policy on left side swamp goes like this. If the latest item in the logic that you got for swamp, among the four that you would normally check, the mirror, the flippers, the hammer, and the hookshot, if the latest one is the hookshot, I'll check left side. Otherwise, I won't.
So you're saying it was within logic longer for you?
Correct.
Which is not how the item logic works. It actually puts items backwards.
Yes, but the idea is once you put the hookshot somewhere, then the rest of them, couldn't be in. If you need them, the hookshot for those, you couldn't put them in the back.
Right.
And I actually ran the numbers on this. So among the seeds, in seeds where hookshot appears in a later sphere than the rest of them, the left side is 18% to be required, and in seeds where it's not, it's 11% to be required.
That's a big jump. Although you're still risking a 10% chance.
That is true. And that my rule there sort of bends depending on like how many places I have left to check. So like if swamp is one of the last places I checked and there's only like a couple of spots left, I'm like, well, yeah, I should probably go ahead and check left side.
Desert Eagle with some frustration / Forgetting the Master Sword, which would have been really nice on Mothula. Mikan is about to hit Tempered Argus. Not too big of a deal here.
Yep, and so Desert Eagle should have the Bombos Medallion as well, and just also picked up the Quake.
So yeah, that's 2 medallions. I mean, we're probably going to be okay on medallions. We're still looking for the mitts, of course. That's the big thing blocking our progression. It can't even be on Ped, though. I think our pedestal hype index is really low. I mean, it can't be bow. It can't be mitts.
Yeah, basically the only thing is a required boots for desert. Or like the ether medallion if it's required for mire.
Yeah.
And Mikan gets the big key off Argus, so
Not
if there's
ideal.
something in this chest, then it's a double dip required. If there's nothing in this chest, then Swamp, like it is so many times, is good.
I mean, this is one of the dungeons where Big Key could have been in the big chests. There's only a couple of these. Skull Woods and Swamp. We got a heart.
All right, so Swamp completely devoid of progression.
I mean, they had to do it anyway for a crystal.
Right.
So it's
So
not
you
that
don't
bad.
feel terrible about it, but if you'd put it off until later, you could have just go moded the silly thing.
I don't think we've seen any of the water spots because of the flipper location.
And the Moon Pearl was not available when they found the flippers either, so it was not really incentivized to do the fake flipper stuff.
Right. Because in order to do the fake flipper, at least to check the waterfall fairy, you need Moon Pearl or flippers. It's just the way the game checks to see if you can walk on water. Well, not really, but...
Yeah. And Mikan gonna go ahead and hit up the flipper situation here one more time.
There's 4 items.
Yeah. And the other thing is, when you came down here, Zora wasn't in the logic with the fake flipper situation. So there was really no indication that you should have done this.
Half magic, really nice to have.
Feels good, man. Also would have been great for that Mothula fight.
So what's the trolliest thing we can get for mitts? I mean,
Spike Cave, right?
yeah, I think so, actually. That is probably the trolliest thing. I mean, it could be sitting in pod. That's not really a big deal. We've seen Eastern. And we've seen Hera. Yeah, there's actually not that much. I like your idea of it being at Spike Cave. And it's actually interesting. I know I've made the mistake before of grouping Spike Cave with mitts, thinking it's a mitts location, because it's Dark Death Mountain.
Right, and it's very much not. And the strange thing about it is, if they had just decided to go to Spike Cave right after picking up that Moon Pearl, they could have checked the rest of Death Mountain. If it turns out that the mitts are in there.
Oh, yeah. So unfortunately, Desert Eagle opted to do the front part, probably looking for some extra hearts, but he's going to be disappointed to find nothing here. And Mikan is checking pod. Maybe we'll also see Desert and Catfish after this as well.
That is entirely... I think Pyramid and Catfish is what you were saying.
What did I say?
I believe you said Desert and Catfish.
No desert yet. Fat Fairy, yeah, is within logic though.
Yeah, you're right. It totally is.
Swamp and Thieves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think that might be better than Spike Cave in terms of troll. Just because it
basically
forces you to
required.
clear swamp, right?
Right. Alright, Desert gonna get some sweet revenge on Mothula now. Tempered, 8 hearts, blue tunic. Let's go.
Yeah, this will be the fastest moth fight.
Alright, we can get further in pot here. You need a small key on that left-hand side without bow.
Yep. And then technically for Bo not to be locking the rest of this dungeon, I believe you need 2 of the next 3 chests to have small keys as well. So this one, the one in the Stalfos basement, and the one in the big key chest.
Right. Yeah, they need to all be small keys, pretty much.
Yeah, and once you have that, it is very theoretically possible for the bow to be in pod, which is pretty funny.
That's a nice trolley location for it. Speaking of revenge, Bombos Gibdo.
Bombos for days, and there we go. So the Stalfos basement here, not required to be a small key, still is. So that's 4 small keys already for the front here.
I mean, 4 of the 6 items in the front, counting the 2 over on the bow side, at least 4 of them have to be small keys.
Correct.
So we got them all. I mean, the other small keys could potentially be over there, but it could also just be some items.
Yeah, it's not a particularly likely configuration to have all 6 up front.
The important part, though, is pretty much the rest of this dungeon is open.
Yep. That's why pod is the mullet place. Because the business is in the front.
All right, Desert Eagle got his revenge. About to get flippers. We got a big key for Mikan. So now everything, aside from the bow side, is within logic and Helmasar.
All right, so small key there. That means we found 5 of the small keys. Now, I don't think we're guaranteed to find a small key here. Oh, there are the Titan's mitts.
There's the mitts.
All day. All right, so no troll Spike Cave, no troll Fat Fairy.
But that might give us access to Turtle Rock. Of course, it gives us access to Mire, if we can get in. Ice is now unlocked. Still looking for that bow. Bow is the thing that's blocking. Bow might be our go mode. We have to see about the boot situation and the medallion situation.
Yeah, I think if I was Mikan, I would be making a beeline for the Misery Mire / desert area to find out this information.
I think Desert is frustrated at his lot in life here, having to go do swamp after the painful Mothula fight. We are going to get a Mire check, and maybe even a desert check as well, sort of figuring out what our go mode situation is with this. Quake, which we have.
All right, so the Quake medallion in our possession. No problem here.
We might be in bow mode. We don't know yet. Soon.
Once we find out the status of Desert Palace, that will put us in faux bow mode.
The only thing that could be on pedestal that we need right now is boots. Maybe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the pedestal hype index is low. You can quote me on that when Boots ends up being on the pedestal, but for now, I'm saying it's low.
Boots ends up being on the pedestal, but this isn't Boots. Oh, it is Boots locked.
Boots are required.
All right, so at least we know that once we get to Ganon's tower, that won't be a problem.
Oh, absolutely required.
How many times have you come into desert, saw a key on the torch, then went to the chest next door and found the boots?
That has happened once. I have gotten that, and I'm like, I'm so glad I checked desert. I think I actually had to go in through the front door as well.
Nice.
Our desert's going to start his, I'm guessing, full clear. He might gamble left-hand side, though.
It's entirely possible. We just find a piece of heart and checkerboard cave coming up here on the hour and 1 minute mark of this race. Getting a little trolly left and right. But it looks like Mikan's going to take the dive into Misery Mire.
It's full clearable. We got Fire Rod. Well, not that that's required. We have a fire source, I should say. Hookshot to actually get us over there. Cane, of course, is the big item to complete the dungeon.
Yeah. And Misery Mire is a dungeon that I really don't mind clearing if I have to. Just because there's not generally a huge difference between Go Mode Mire and just plain Mire.
Yeah, you're going to look for that big key, so...
I mean, there's going to be some amount of difference, but it's not like earth-shattering like swamp or ice.
Right. So there are 2 items here. I don't know if we mentioned that yet. 2 items in Mire. We don't really have to check the Turtle Rock Medallion simply because it's a pendant. We might not have to go there. I say this knowing it's rando, and, you know, both Bow and Boots can be sitting in Turtle Rock. But for now, as far as we know, it's not required.
Boots on pedestal, Bow on Trinex. Anybody?
I'm sure Chad can get behind that.
Hold on.
One.
Boots on pedestal, Bow on Sahasrara.
Sure. Let's just make the runners work for it. Desert Eagle is opting to check the left-hand side. I mean, he got both map and compass, so it's like there's going to be items over there.
I mean, Boots might actually be the worst Go Mode item because you don't have them until you're in Go Mode. I mean, it's kind of a tautology there, but you get the idea. I mean, Ice Rod is probably the worst Go Mode item, though, just because of the sheer number of locations in which it could be.
Yeah. Like, even a medallion doesn't really... Because it blocks the whole dungeon. With Ice Rod, it can be as deep as Laser Bridge. And just, like, having to gamble that, it's a hard call.
I mean, I'm actually kind of in the camp where if you're just missing Ice Rod...
Ooh, nice.
You just go to Turtle Rock and hope for the best.
It is a very dense location. We just got silvers on Mikan's side.
That is just about the right time to get them, except for the fact that we don't have the bow. Now, if the bow happens to be here in Mire as well, then I mean, Vitreous kind of did a bad job of hiding his weaknesses.
So having finished left-hand side, Desert Eagle's going to make his way. Now, he also has Tempered, so not too big a deal, although sitting at 2 hearts right now. I mean, both of our runners actually low on hearts.
Well, there's the other item in Misery Mire. It means Mikan will just need to grab that big key, which at this point I believe has to be in my least favorite location for it to be.
Did we see the middle grate?
Maybe we didn't see the middle one.
I'm guessing yes. Okay. Yeah, this is the worst location. It's out of the way considering you have to activate one of the orbs, which are on the left-hand side,
Right.
and then come back.
All right, so Mikan's going to go downstairs and face off against Vitreous. Desert Eagle's going to need to make the pod dip. And this is basically a required double dip pod from what we can tell here.
Yeah. What we would need to see Desert do in order to catch up somewhat is take those mitts and immediately go up to Death Mountain, probably. Either that or Ice. We don't know where the two items we need for progression are. I'm just saying, for dense area, Death Mountain is looking pretty good. If we count Turtle Rock within that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Desert Eagle, you're going to Desert to see, and Meyer to see if you to figure out the go mode situation.
I mean, you do need that knowledge, absolutely.
Now, you might peace out right after you figure it out, but it depends on what you're feeling like.
I don't think we got anything along the Zora chain either, just half magic, which is nice to have but not required. Alright, so no bow for Mikan. Looks like we're gonna get some blue cane with tempered. It's not too big because you can do slashes, but it is laggy.
Yep, so there's plenty of different strategies to do this here. You can do the intentional damage strats, just do a bunch of spins. You can also do, if you have the cape, you can do cape strats. Cape dash strats, that's another thing. I personally just like doing cape slash strats because you're less likely to run out of magic that way.
Right. I mean, there's no lag. That's the nice part of it.
And then, of course, once you get silvers
Well,
and
yes.
the bow, then you just myrtleize it. There's a reason the silver arrows are locked behind Vitreous in the original game.
I still think it's funny that silvers work so well in Vitreous, despite, him blocking them. All right, we're seeing an Ice Palace play. Where is the vanilla single arrow?
I believe it is in pod. I think it's in the dark maze.
Oh my gosh.
Basement, yeah. Dark basement.
So there's 3 items here in Ice Palace that Mikan could potentially get. Given that he has Cane and Hookshot, he should be able to reach everything within logic.
Desert
Nothing
Eagle
good for Desert Eagle.
goes back into Swamp, hoping against hope that Swamp isn't its usual self. And there's the bow!
Well, we still have slight chance of pedestal.
Yeah, the boots are still MIA.
That confirms the double dip pod as well. You need mitts to get in here.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think we're getting a fat fairy check. We didn't see this from Mikan's side. If this is boots, this could turn out pretty well. For
This
Desert
could be
Eagle.
huge. I mean, it's the Pyramid Fairy. Of course it's huge, but that's beside the point.
Book could potentially be on pedestal. I mean, it's not necessarily required, but it can be placed there. Got a bomb jump from Mikan's side.
Very solid bomb jump.
We didn't see Pyramid yet, did we?
I don't think so. We got a heart and a big 20 in the Pyramid Fairy. Looks like just some bombs up there on the pyramid.
Oh, it looks like Desert Eagle's heading over to Catfish first. He might, with the mirror, also check all the swimming locations. It's a good way to combine everything.
Nice, yeah. I mean, we know it's not really going to pay out, but...
Anytime you can route these things together, like anything in general, routing a lot of items to get them quickly in one go, it's going to end up ultimately saving you some time.
And you know, if you, I mean, there's a route here that goes, you know, Zora, Waterfall, back toward the Hobo, and then into Ice Palace.
Right.
But we don't have the mitts. Sorry, I'm a smart person.
No, I thought you were just saying the hypothetical. This is something you could do. Not what Desert can do right now.
I have a PhD that stands for Philosophy of Derp.
Philosophy of Dirt. That, hey, at least you went to school for that. Like you see something. Oh, it actually talks. That's funny. I feel like Desert Eagle's just being trolled with all of these items that would have been nice for Mothula. Boots could be on Ped. That would be a nice location too. With this bow, I'm increasing the pedestal hype index just a little bit. It's I'm gonna say it's medium low though.
Yeah, I'd say we're probably still at PedCon 5.
PedCon 5. Oh, big key over an iced tea room. That's pretty much the worst spot.
Yeah, basically.
Although it looks like Mikan is going to do a bomb jump, maybe? Which is nice to do. I mean, you have Hookshot, you can just fall into the hole there.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen here. He actually did a bomb jump earlier just to get out here.
Yeah, routing ice is always interesting with what kind of decisions you might have to make.
And that, I believe, does it for ice items. I think we saw a bow and the heart container and like it's either a piece of heart or an arrow upgrade or something. My brain is having a brain.
Your brain is well, congratulations.
Yeah, I know. It's a pretty solid, pretty nice occasion for all of us involved.
Desert is Boots locked. That's why we're still looking for Boots. Boots is officially, literally, and figuratively go mode. Is it actually figured? I don't know. Let's go with that. Oh, 1.5 heart. Careful, Mikan. Luckily, Fire Rod completely wrecks Cold Stare.
I mean, technically we're... Oh, never mind. There's a whole nother item there. Anyways, technically we're just dealing with a bunch of ones and zeros. I think everything is figurative at this point.
If you want to practice ice, I mean, it depends on what your goal is. If you're trying to get better at doing Ice Palace in Rando, you need to run it in Rando. I don't think the practice round will necessarily help you very much because all of the keys and everything are pretty much static. You have one way of getting through, but you have to make some interesting decisions when it comes to Ice Palace. Do you know, if you don't get a small key in the first chest, you have to make some decisions. If you know how to bomb jump, and that's the important part, you can use the practice round to practice all of your different bomb jumps. there's 4 different bomb jumps you could potentially do in ice. So I would say use the practice ROM to learn those bomb jumps. They're not too bad, and there are videos that exist to learning how to do it.
I'm told there are actually 5 bomb jumps.
What's the 5th one?
It's stupid.
Can you go backwards?
It's stupid and dumb, and you wouldn't do it, but it's funny.
Okay.
So you know the room with the fire bar and the ice that goes around,
No. Really?
You can bomb jump across the corner.
Yeah, I should say there's 4 useful bomb jumps that allow you to route effectively.
So, yeah, I saw a clip somewhere of somebody doing that one in a tournament race, and I was like, really?
Yo, vanilla boots. I like it.
Oh, that is a theoretical possibility at this point, and not one that our runners are interested in, not one bit.
I mean, I'm interested in it. I'd like to subscribe to that newsletter.
It looks like Desert Eagle has not been to Eastern Palace at all.
No, he never went in. Mikan went here earlier before he remembered his shovel. Both are runners in the same dungeon now. Oh, okay, never mind. Desert Eagle making a liar out of me.
Yeah, heading to Eastern first doesn't seem like the worst idea.
You're hoping for bow at this point in the game, especially a vanilla bow in Desert Eagle's case.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case today, but we have the bow locked behind Pod, which is a really weird situation. Usually Pod is locked behind the bow. And it sort of is.
A little of both.
¿Por qué no los dos? The bow was in the first chest in Ice Palace. So, if you're a fan of ice, turned out to be pretty nice.
And we have Harmless Hellway. I think that was the Myths location. So that's deep in Pod.
Oh, yeah. That actually requires a pretty specific key layout.
So kudos to the new logic in V29 for that bow placement. This is something you would not have seen in previous versions. I mean, they tried to do it with V28, but unfortunately there was a bug. Now, it's good.
So Desert Eagle's gonna pick up that bug net. While Mikan will take down Helmasaur King. Spin and a couple slashes ought to do it.
Just a breather.
All right. So Mikan is So Mikan's got Ice Palace down. All we need is Desert, but unfortunately, we know that all we have left is pendant stuff.
He has a lot he can do outside of the pendants, though. We still have Spike Cave. We have all of Dark Death Mountain. We have... Mikan hasn't seen Pyramid, Fat Fairy, or Catfish. Or we haven't seen Graveyard Ledge, have we?
Nope. Graveyard Ledge is still unaccounted for.
The Blacksmith Chain, Blacksmith, Purple Chest, Hammer Pegs.
Yep, that's true. So there's plenty of overworld to check before diving pendant dungeons. And, at this point, it really just kind of depends on your preference.
Turtle Rock all the way. Can't say no to Turtle Rock.
I would probably check Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave first, but then I might go ahead and hit up Turtle Rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, speaking of rocks.
See, this is why powder. Dead Rocks just want to show us that they really are the worst enemy in the game. Despite Crickets doing 2 hearts of damage, the Crabs doing 2 hearts of damage. No. Dead Rocks.
And it's Quake for Turtle Rock as well, so Mikan will not require that Bombos medallion, even though they know where it is.
For the record, Desert Eagle did get use out of Bombos, so at least we had that.
We got revenge on the Gibdos, right?
Yep.
All right, so hookshot time. We got a bomb upgrade. We got a piece of heart. We got more bombs. And a big 20, so Hookshot Cave is completely devoid of anything useful.
At least it was nice giving you a bomb upgrade followed by the bombs and not the other way around.
Yeah, good call. Ice Rod. Uh-oh. And more bees!
I mean, peace of mind, you're going into Turtle Rock knowing you can complete it, and that is a Sahasrara pendant.
A large influx of bees ought to put a stop to that.
Have we? We've gotten 3 bottles, and they were all bees.
Mm-hmm.
Vitor, please.
Okay, I'm done.
The bottle contents are random, but there's 2 different bees you can get, a regular bee and a magic bee, which is why bees are just more likely than any other bottle. Content.
Yeah, but I mean, by that logic, some potion ought to be more likely than bees.
I don't feel that way. Just bees all day, every day. Oh, there was an empty bottle.
Oh yeah, we had an empty bottle. My bad.
I didn't even remember that one.
Yeah, I think PedCon 3 is a pretty good estimate.
It's getting there. That ice rod definitely increased it. I want to see. Look, if we're going to troll the runners, we need Book at Ped and one of, let's say, Ether. Oh, okay, or just Boots right there. Never mind. Game, I was just getting started, and it's like, no, shut down. We're giving you Boots right now.
It's like, get out.
All right, there you go. Mikan in go mode. He only has 1 dungeon to beat, which is Desert. So Desert Eagle did get his mitts, but he has to make his way to Ice. He's probably going to end up full clearing it anyway. And, of course, go into Turtle Rock to get Boots. He didn't get the mitts. Oh, no. I was watching...
How did he leave Pod without getting the mitts? What happened?
Oh, no.
What sort of nightmare is this?
He might have thought it was a small key. The problem is you can't assume the Harmless Hellway is a small key unless you were already at the front checking the 2 chests with the bow. In that case, when you get to the Harmless Hellway, if you have 2 small keys, then you know, because you have to use a small key on the to get to the, assuming you do things normal without any fancy bomb jumps. You need a small key for the Dark Maze, and you need a small key to get the Helmasaur, which is why if you only have 2 small keys when you're looking at Harmless Hellway, it's a small key under there. But that's only if you've done the front and basically opened everything else. I think Desert Eagle saw the 2 small keys and assumed, oh, this has to be a small key in here. But again, he didn't check the front 2 chests.
Yeah, you jumped the gun a bit there.
So it's definitely a thing you have to be careful of. It is a nice time saver if you know the logic of pod. But you have to be careful you don't misstep.
Meanwhile, Mikan is heading directly to Landmola's. We're gonna, burn some worms or silver some worms, and then head directly back to Ganon's tower.
Silver's so nice there.
Nicely done by Mikan. It's the second item, or actually the first item, I guess.
Alright, I think it's that time, and I see chat's already guessing for the big key, Ganon's Tower guessing game. I said that in the wrong order, but you guys know what I mean. Pick a number between 1 and 22, try to figure out where that big key is.
And of course, if you are subscribed, if you have subscribed to one of the Speed Gaming channels or have donated 250 bits or more, you may be added to our leaderboard. Feel free to play along either way, but that's the only way you'll be eligible for the leaderboard. Now, what do you think it's going to be, Jet?
I put 16 in chat, so that would place it usually behind Ice Armos.
Yeah, the traditional route, that would put it as the chest directly after the vanilla big key chest. And I, of course, chose 14, which is the chest before the big key chest, otherwise known as Bob's chest.
Yeah, I like that one.
And we will be closing this off as soon as Mikan enters Ganon's tower on our screen. So that's a little earlier than you guys.
Now, it looks like Desert Eagle is making his way up to Death Mountain here.
Oh, he's doing a spike cave check.
We did not see this. I don't think... I mean, we can get a sword. We can get a red tunic.
We can get a single arrow. Or, no, we always sing that.
Another one? That would just break everything.
Yeah, that's about as insulting.
Well, there's our small key, and it looks like Mikan will be heading right first. So Desert Eagle doesn't know what else to do at this point. Remember, he never picked up mitts, so now he's trying to think, what did I miss?
More like, what did I miss?
Oh my gosh.
The thing wrote itself, I'm sorry.
It's true.
There's number 3, 50 rupees. Number 4, the compass. Number 5, a big 20. And number 6 is the red mail.
There it is. Okay, so Desert Eagle just mentioned in the chat, I must have marked something I thought I got, but didn't. So he's definitely having a brain fart. Well, not a brain fart, but he's having that moment where it's like, what did I miss? And if he's using something like Cross Products Tracker, he can mark the locations in the map that he's already checked. So we We got 7 things so far from Mikan. Bob is going to get dressed because he heard someone knocking at the door at the lantern.
Yep, there's that. Found another small key in here. That is a interesting location for it. I think it's pretty likely to be down at Ice Armos now, but that's mere speculation.
Or right there.
I'm making that up.
So number 12 takes the win. That is 12, right? 6, 7, 10. Yep, that's number 12. So congrats to number 12. Mark it in a moment. Oh, you beat me to it. Kernumus. Kernumius?
All right, that sounds correct to me. And Mikan will now be heading up the gauntlet. No more of this silly randomness. We know what's going on here.
15 hearts, tempered sword, red tunic, half magic. What more could you want?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to butter, but I'm not going to go out of my way for it.
So for Desert Eagle, I mean, this is the time where it's like you need to recheck everything you've already done. It's stressful, especially in a tournament match where you're like, I thought I was doing okay. I was starting to run out of locations, and then, oh crap, I could have sworn I checked everything. Now, this isn't Key Sanity, so unfortunately, compasses don't really do anything in the dungeon. Well, not useful for our runners anyway. But in Key Sanity, you would see how many chests are still left to check. Get some fire rod strats from Mikan.
Oh, and just the beautiful silver arrow strats there once again.
Little low on health, but there's places to collect some on the way. I don't know if he still has a blue potion, maybe.
It is theoretically possible.
I know he bought a couple earlier.
Mikan's going to use the lamp in this room.
I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, I don't think he has enough time, so he's going to wait for the torch to go out. We are looking at a roughly around a 140 finish.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Pretty good for a standard seed.
There is the option to forfeit a race if you need to. It is in the Speed Racing TV interface. I don't know if that's something that Desert will actually be interested in, but it is an option. I don't particularly feel like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, he'll still be able to. It'll just count as a loss for him for this particular round. But he'll still, have another opponent and continue in the Swiss match.
Yeah, and to be fair, anybody, no matter how many losses they have, is still able to play until the end of the Swiss round, if they want to. That's the whole point of a Swiss tournament, is it allows all tournament participants to play, regardless of whether they've lost or not.
I mean, I do recommend it for all of our runners. It's good practice. I imagine, but I cannot confirmed that we'll have more tournaments in the future, so it's just good to get that sort of exposure out here, the practice. Being able to watch your opponents, see what they did differently, could give you ideas of how to improve. It's one of the best way to learn like locations that you might have missed, or how to do things differently, or maybe even better and faster. Just being able to watch someone else do the same seed that you're working on. That was a very nice triple from Mikan.
Beautiful. There's the 4-cycle Aga 2. That's perfectly acceptable. I will say I've started taking to checking the last 2 chests in Ganon's tower if I'm missing anything useful for Ganon, and that includes butter. Just because in my first match, I caught the butter sword in the pre-Moldorm chest, and it won me the match.
Really? Oh my gosh, what a spot.
Yeah, it was very close race. It was like 11 seconds.
I mean, butter essentially guarantees you a 1-cycle phase 1 and 2 of Ganon. It's still possible to do, and it looks like Mikan is well on his way, actually. I think he got it, yep.
Yeah, well done.
I mean, Ganon's going to take the same amount of time regardless if you have butter or tempered. It's just that you need less slashes.
I don't know how to do 1-cycle tempered.
No, it's tricky. I mean, there's something about like bouncing off of the thrown trident, and I don't fully know, but it is neat to see.
Yeah, it has something to do with a spin on the first part, like you do 4 slashes and a spin, and it like double spins or something. I don't know.
Right. Desert, unfortunately, is lost. He thinks he's checked everything, which he admitted to in the race chat.
And it turns out he hasn't checked everything. There's a chest in Palace of Darkness that he did have access to and did not check.
Oh, getting Ganon right there at the end before the torch went out. And there is Mikan with the win, just a couple minutes shy of the 140. GG.
Yeah, very nice. The official time is 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 50 seconds.
Desert is still going. He did not forfeit despite seeing his opponent finished. I think he's doing a couple of checks to see if he can find where those mitts are. Or, well, what he missed, essentially. All right, looks like Mikan will join us.
All right. And that sounds like Mikan joining us right now. Congratulations on the win.
Wait, I had Bob and Jet commentating? What the heck? Hi, guys.
Spoiler alert.
Oh my gosh. Yo, how's it going? I had fun. How about you?
That was a bit of a trolley seed. Like that location.
I kind of wished I would have found the bow first, but the mitts were fine, I guess.
You had to. It was a required double dip of pod.
Yeah, it sure was.
And of course, boots just sitting. We were theorizing where those boots could be. I don't know if Ped was on your mind, but pedestal was definitely an option. But then you find boots right away in Terror Rock.
I was super worried that they were gonna be on the what do you call those guys? The blacksmith jerks? I never go there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, well. I put off Turtle Rock for so long. I was going to go there a lot earlier, but I figured that if I went up to Death Mountain to check Dark Death Mountain, which I did want to do, I was going to just stay and do Turtle Rock, and I'm glad I put that off and just cleared, things that I knew I needed to clear.
Yeah, I think that really worked out in your favor. You had a bit of a slow start, unfortunately. I guess you forgot you had shovel.
I did. You know, I was going to walk from the race game down and dig that up, and I don't know what I thought. It was probably, what are the odds? That's probably what I thought. And, well, we'll see how that turned out.
Yeah, the fetch quest chain into the hook shot was just ridiculous.
I'm so glad that stopped me early instead of late.
Yeah, that could have been pretty devastating otherwise. But yeah, it worked out pretty well for you. Your opponent, unfortunately, went into pod and assumed that the Harmless Hellway was a small key. Or something
goodness.
to that effect.
Yeah, I actually thought
every other single spot.
Oh no. I thought that maybe that's a key. Wait, I don't have the bow. Let's check it.
Yeah. Good thing. Really good thing. He also had a little bit of trouble on Mothula. I think there was like 3 deaths there. Fighter Sword Mothula, no fun.
Yeah, we had like 5 or 6 hearts, and I definitely bought potions before then. It's like, all right, they've given us, 1,200 rupees? We found like 3 of the 300 rupee drops. Like, yeah, I'm going into the Dark World. I'm going to be doing a lot of dungeons with 5 hearts and green mail. Let's just buy potions.
Yeah.
It looks like your opponent has officially forfeited the race. That is perfectly understandable given the circumstances.
So yeah, any thoughts about the seed? Anything else that you were thinking as you were going through, especially with the, I guess, swamp like completely not paying off, but being very time consuming?
Yeah, it sure was. I don't know. I know I had a really slow start, but when I got to Dark World and I got the mirror, I think was in the sea house, was it? It was somewhere close to there. And I found the flippers. I was like, this is going to be a nice little loop to finish all these dungeons in a row. And it certainly was, though the it was in a little swamp. That swamp didn't have anything.
Yeah, I think at that point, like once you hit Dark World, you were just a machine getting through these dungeons like back to back. Okay, swamp wasn't really useful, but the fact that you were just concentrating on it, and it definitely worked out in your favor there.
All right, so it sounds like we may have been joined by Desert Eagle as well.
Yep. GG, Mikan.
Hey.
Holy moly.
All right, so let's talk Titan's Mitch, shall we?
I figured it was that or the bow.
So here's the thing.
Oh,
you went into Palace of Darkness, right? And you went to the back, and I think you assumed that the Harmless Hellway was going to be a small key.
Oh.
And it was not. It was the Titan's Mitts.
You know what? I forgot I didn't check that the bow lock chest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking there when I went through there. I was just saying right before you hopped in that I thought that it would have been a key, then I remembered that the bow chest still existed, so it may not be. So I just went ahead and checked it.
I absolutely did not think about that.
Yep, that is what ultimately led to your confusion there.
Yep. I think between that and just, I practiced that Mothula fight with Fighter Sword, and
oh yeah,
and I decided to
not kind to you today.
Let me just say, it's a good thing I didn't have a mic on for that run. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I was absolutely going to be in the same shoes, I think, but I went ahead and bought potions before heading over there.
Well, about that. I bought 2 blue potions and still managed to
Oh.
I was feeling so good, and then I got to Skull Woods, and I was like, all right, I'm going all right, but I'm gonna go buy a potion to be safe. Go get one, come back, die, and then I went and bought 2, came back and died again, and then I tried to I was like, all right, I'll just clear swamp then, whatever, and then died more, and I was just so frustrated I couldn't even play well, so I had to go kill Moldor and feel better.
Take your frustration out on them.
Pretty much.
So that so the way it would have ended up, you'd had the Titan's mitts there. The bow was in the first room of Ice Palace, and that would have allowed you to complete the rest of the dungeons over there. Except you needed the boots for desert. It turned out, but they were in the right side, locked behind the fire rod of Turtle Rock.
There was no quick way of clearing out the seed. There's no way you're gonna like check the first thing in ice and say, okay, I won't need everything else here. So it really did want you to clear out, especially a couple of pendant dungeons. There's nothing in Hera and or Easter, but yeah, Turtle Rock. Turtle Rock was required.
You know, I was going to try and avoid Turtle Rock as much as I could because I saw it was pendant, and I was like, things are going really well, really quickly. So I was like, cool, I don't have to do Turtle Rock. I never got to find out I did.
I did enjoy your frustration slashes after you picked up like Master Sword, Tempered, all of this that would have been nice for Mothula.
When I picked up Tempered, yeah, that was a little bit frustrating. But
all right, so that was it was a pretty good run for both of you. Unfortunately, about that one little misstep in the logic situation there, but it was still a pretty good run from both sides. You were actually quite a bit ahead early on, Desert Eagle, because you remembered to do the shovel.
I made some bad decisions.
Yeah, I was feeling great about that, and then the moth happened, and at that point I was like, well, I'm done. And then I decided, maybe he didn't do the, didn't dig up powder and didn't do the bat. So I was like, all right, I still have that. Maybe it's okay. And then the whole pod thing.
Yeah. Well,
I forgot about that.
One way to learn about the different locations, what you can do, is the hard way. So I imagine you're never going to forget to check that spot in the future.
No, I'm sure I'm not.
Even if it is a key, you'll grab that as spite.
It's like somebody goes to check Gina's cave right now out of spite. I mean, what?
Yeah. I did a practice a while ago, and the hammer was in that chest.
Gross.
Somehow I decided not to go into the Harmless Hellway. I don't even think it was that I counted keys. I just went downstairs, got the big key, and I was like, cool, dark maze time, and just forgot about it. And that was practice, though.
Yep.
But
now it really will sink in.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna forget that chest next time.
That's so harmless after all.
Right?
So real quick, while we wrap things up here, I do want to remind chat, make sure you give our runners a follow here. They've been practicing a lot of Randomizer, so if you want to watch more, head on over to their channel, shoot them a follow to see more of this rando goodness.
Indeed. I'd also like to go ahead and shout out our tracker, Cassidy Moen, for taking care of those wonderful little icons you see at the bottom of the screen. Keeping track of all the wonderful action we saw here today. Certainly doing a better job than I would.
Yes, thank you to everyone. You guys, the tracker, the restreamer. Definitely appreciate it.
And of course, a thank you to all the people behind the scenes here, getting things done, and of course to my co-commentator, Jet. Thank you so much for putting up with whatever this was over here.
Thank you. This was fun. This was a lot of fun.
Yep, and of course, if you enjoyed anything you saw here, the best way to thank the people involved is to just give them a follow, and we'd all appreciate it very much. So I think we're about ready to wrap it up. What do you think?
Yep. Sounds good. The runners need some rest.
Seems
I'm going to
good.
do another practice.
Oh my gosh, more torture.
The salty run back. Is this happening?
Yep, that's what it is.
All right. So with that, I'm just going to say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And I'm Jet082.
And we'll see you later.
Have a good night.